you finance your activities and all of that, and then, also try to keep some external reserve. Now, when this happened, what happened to us? Supply of foreign exchange plummeted seriously. Demand has not, as much plummeted. And we said, this is a problem. Because as we continue to say, oh, even though this is a reality, let's keep the value where it was. What it meant was that you will now have to go to the reserve you had before now and be depleting it to be able to still keep your pride that I'm a nation whose currency is very valuable. So in doing that, right from 2014 up to now, we've been shouting, we can't continue this lifestyle of pegging this at the point and saying we're defending it. We have moved foreign external reserve from $44 billion as of June or thereabout 2014 to now close to 25. Leave the figures we're seeing. It's much worse than it is. And if you do some accounting entries, we have almost 5 billion outstanding forex demand. Even though for me, I believe some of those demands were speculative. Now we begin to see the real demand that's actually outstanding.
So what's this going to do? What's this?
I wanted to just bring it down to why are we having this pressure. So at that point, CBN is just trying to come out of, or the federal government with CBN is just trying to come down their high horse, because they have seen the reality we had projected more than a year ago, that if you continue to insist on defending, it means that the savings you had as a nation to cover your nakedness
will be depleted.
Will be depleted, and now when you become so naked, the whole world will laugh at you and make jest of you. That's where we're almost coming to before they now woke up and said, let's do the right thing.
Okay. Let me bring Mr. Fashola in at this point. The president is quoted as saying that the only way out of this is for Nigeria to just reduce its over-reliance on imports. So how would you say we're doing towards achieving this goal? As far as many can see, we're not exporting more than we used to. So where is all the foreign exchange going to come from to help our situation?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say that what the central bank has done, what Nigeria has done, is slightly different from what many people who, the advocates of devaluation, wanted them to do. But it's much better, perhaps it's the best option that they could have taken. What many people expected them to do is to come to say, okay, going forward, we're going to be selling money at 300, or as the case may be. And, that would have been an arbitrary price fixing again. That would have been the real devaluation. But this time around, what they have said is, look, we will not be getting involved in retail transactions. So as against before, where we would, and as the other presenter asked, in times past, we would actually go to a bank and get BTA and so on. But those banks would actually still apply many times to the central bank in order to get the foreign exchange for us. So the central bank was dealing with a lot of retail issues. But now the central bank is saying, look, we would only be dealing with banks, and we needn't even publicize what we're doing. And we'll be coming to the market like a normal player in the market. Only we're a big player, but we'll be coming to the market to buy or to sell. However, now I have always advocated that the business of foreign exchange is actually, predictability is not an asset in this business. If people know what you're going to do, they'll preempt you and they'll clean you out. The second, what is called the second generation of currency crisis is what is known as self-fulfilling prophecy. It says that when people believe, or people are discussing and saying, and people are stridently saying that the currency will be devalued, then the currency will be devalued, because expectation is a major factor in the market. In the same vein, if people believe that that the currency would gain in value, then it will also gain in value. It's just about expectations. And every country in the world does manage its currency, including the United States, which is the reference currency for the whole world. Only that you will not hear what the Fed is doing between themselves and the banks behind the back. So where are we going to get the money from? Part of what's going to go on, I personally believe that a lot of the speculation is overrated. Let's look at what sources of income we have and what sources of outflows we have. Yes, we do a lot of education abroad, we do a lot of importation, but of course, part of the monies that will move in very quickly, people have been holding what they call dry gunpowder. in which case a lot of people have been speculating. People who got money, this dollar around when it was 166, 190 thereabout, have been waiting to move in on the double, you know, and make 100%. It is in their good interest to actually offload for now. And it is also in the good interest of the central bank to ensure that the rhetoric on the street always stays on the positive, because also, you know, the expectation is a major concern. So a lot of people are going to be moving in. A lot of foreign portfolio investments are going to be coming in. People who want to move into the bond market or stock market, Nigeria is still a good deal for them. You know, even though that's what's called hot money. So we can't actually project on that. A lot of foreign direct investment may also come in. A lot of the governors, a lot of projects are being done even at the federal level. So a lot of those monies will come in. But what the new regime is trying to eradicate unnecessary speculation. That's the critical factor. If we're able to get rid of people who are barely saying, some people just have this negative view about Nigeria, including a lot of Nigerians. Oh, the Naira is going to go to pieces. The Naira is going to have a free fall. Those guys are going to, I believe that they're going to have their fingers burnt. And if we're able to get rid of a lot of the speculation, then we will actually now come to the realization of what exactly our demands, what exactly our supply. Mind you, the fact that in the last few months the Nigerians have been facing a lot of difficulties. In the last few months, we Nigerians have also had cause to reorder our expenses and expenditure profile. A lot of people are making hard choices now. Okay, the profligacy of the past, of course, people will talk about the last regime and the corruption and all that. The profligacy of the past seems to have abated, and we're finding out that, hey, we can actually survive, you know, while cutting out some of the excesses. Yeah. And I think if you go to Apapa today, you would find out that Apapa, well, the last time I was there, it was almost looking like a ghost town. And we heard that, okay, I know that a lot of the goods will be coming in from Cotonou now, but very few containers get cleared in Apapa ports these days. The import bill for Nigeria, official import bill for Nigeria, has reduced, partly because a lot of importers were getting their money from the, you know, if they really have to, they have to get their money from the black market, if you like, or the parallel market. But now the new scenario is to say that, look, you can walk into your bank, you can, and every bank should display their rates, and they are bound by those rates that they display. And the central bank is under obligation to ensure a lot of transparency and a lot of regulation in that market going forward. So I believe that it's a great thing that has happened. It's better than mere arbitrary devaluation. If we had done that, if we had done 300, we would have to do it again, because if we do 300, the central bank say, okay, please, people can come to us to buy at 300, and they're going to be doing retail. Then the black market will jump to 500. Then after a long while, they would actually move to 500. Then the black market will. So what we're doing now is, let's try and get rid of a lot of the speculation. Speculation is indeed part of the market. Mind you also the fact that they're introducing the futures market and the forward market as well for big players. People like Dangote, who in every bid, every week, you would see Dangote Industry, Dangote Flour, Dangote this and that. You know, they're introducing the futures market so that these guys can actually enter into forward and futures transaction into the future, like let's say 180 days, 270 days, as the case may be, with their banks, and the big banks as well. Of course, now there's an amendment, a slight variation to the rule, which came out yesterday, to the effect that the central bank will not now be looking at 10 banks as primary dealers, that all the banks will now be primary dealers. That creates a lot of transparency, a lot of sources for people to obtain their foreign exchange. And if those sources are there, why would anyone rush into the market to go and buy money at very expensive rates?
Thank you,
Just
Mr.
before we
Fasua.
let him go,
There's been a lot of talks around the fact that, yes, the CBN has brought out this policy, but is there that proper structural operational framework to ensure that it works perfectly?
Yeah, as we can see from...
that is their role.